Just Taniela Tupac set to play his 50th. Can you speak to the importance of him to this pack and his growth that you've seen under sort of the past 6 months?
For Will?
You first, Eddie.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think he has the talent to be the number one tight end prop in the world, and we believe the way he's preparing at the moment, the way he's going about his work, and the enjoyment he's having in becoming a better player, we'll see that development. He's an extremely powerful scrummager. He's added versatility to the way he scrummages. He had a period there where his only option was to go in. Now he scrums very straight, which is obviously going to be important against the Georgians, who historically have prided themselves in that area. And he's got the fastest feet I've ever seen for a tight end prop. And he's just coming to his best. He's still a young man for a tight end prop, and to play 50 tests for his country is a wonderful achievement.
Will, your perspective, a guy like Taniela, packing in behind him, what's it like, and also what's he like as sort of if you see the character of him, what's he like sort of around the team, off the field, just to sort of keep morale high, and when you've got a pretty critical tournament like this?
Yeah, he's a massive personality, massive character in our squad. He brings the laughs, provides a lot of energy off the field, and then on the field he's a beast, mate. He's, like Eddie said, around the scrum, it's his bread and butter. He enjoys it, and then he enjoys trying to run over wingers in multi-phase as well. So he's a massive part of our team, and hopefully we can get him firing this weekend.
Will, 4 years, it's a pretty long time in rugby. The last World Cup, what are your memories, I guess, from watching of that World Cup? And did you ever think that you'd be here in France as the captain of the Wallabies as well?
No, yeah, like you said, it's 2019, a long time ago. I was doing pre-season with Saracens at the time, so I was watching the boys get through that tournament, and I didn't think it was an option to be available to play in the World Cup in 2023. Very lucky and blessed to be here and in the position I am in.
And you were named as the Wallabies captain a few weeks ago now, but to be here 2 days out from the opening test for you guys, how does that feel, I guess, for you? Is it really starting to sink in?
Yeah, it has. It's a massive responsibility, but I'm extremely I'm well supported. I've got a great leadership group, a great coach and staff who back me, and it's about getting the job done. I think it's very special, not only for myself and my family, but I'm looking forward to leading these guys.
Will, there's probably quite a few of the Georgian players who play in France. What do you sort of make of their side, and do you know quite a few of them personally, and what are the attributes that you see that they bring to their team?
Yeah, I know a couple, Becca and Nini, who plays fullback. Becca's the tight head. He's extremely physical. You can see how dynamic Nini is at the back. The fullback with the ball, he's very dangerous. And like Eddie said, historically they've prided themselves on set piece, scrum and maul. We'll be expecting that this weekend.
Eddie, it's only a month or so ago you were sort of comparing the Wallabies to a Datsun 180B, and you had to fix one thing and one thing would break and fix the next thing. How are things now? What stage are we at? Are you still a Datsun 180B, or have you upgraded?
Ready to go, mate. F1. Whatever car you like in F1, whatever it is.
There's some slow ones from back in the grid.
Oh, well, we'll get to the fast one, mate. We're at the start of the grid. Just about ready to take off, mate. It's been a really good progression. We went through a period where we had to almost destructure the team to get ourselves in a position where we think we can win the World Cup. And this is the first step against Georgia. Very important game. But I've been really impressed, in the later part of the Rugby Championship and the France game and the preparation we've had here, that the team's starting to really come together. We're starting to understand how we want to play to our strengths. It would be unfair for me to say that I knew where the team was going to end up, because we're just starting to understand what our strengths are as a team. and starting to play to those. So we're going to develop, you know, a reasonably, I think, unique style of play that suits us. And yeah, no, we're ready to go, mate. So we're just ready for the lights.
Hi Eddie. Ben Donaldson on Monday said that he'd predominantly been training at fly half. When did the idea of him playing at fullback start to kind of foster?
Well, that's since we've come to had the World Cup squad, but previously in the Rugby Championship he trained almost exclusively at 15. So it's always been an idea we've had. Yeah, as I said, we need to bolster the goal kicking, that's evident, and that's why he's in the team.
And you've typically always tried to kind of pick trends, what the World Cup might look like in 2 years or 4 years' time. This Wallabies side and the destructuring of it and the playing off the cuff a little bit more, did you think that this was how the trend was going to end up, or do you think this was specifically for the Wallabies to play that kind of brand of rugby?
That's not a bad question, mate. You must have spent a lot of time on that one.
Long train trip.
Very good, very good. I'm impressed with that. Well, I think, you know, the games, we've seen the intensity of the game really increase. You know, the ball in play, particularly against the bigger countries, you know, your France, your South Africa, ball in play is really low, but the periods of play are so intense. You know, you can't afford to make a mistake in that period of play, which suits a big forward pack like us. You know, that really suits us. You know, it's the first time I never dreamt coming to a press conference as a coach of Australia and saying we've got a huge pack that could dominate the World Cup, and we have. You know, we intend to use that to our advantage. You know, we've got a really big, strong, fast pack that's ready to take on the opposition. It starts with Georgia. And then you know, you get this almost like rollerball type play, and then you get one opportunity with your backs to take advantage of it. And that's where you've got to be so clinical, your running lines and your passing and your support players got to be so good at taking those opportunities. And we're starting to develop that. You know, Karevi coming back gives us another option which we haven't had since we've been together. In reality, he's only played that one game in against New Zealand in Dunedin. So he gives us another big running threat out wider. You know, Bataya's starting to find his feet. You know, we're blessed with 3 great wingers, 2 will start and 1 will come off the bench, that can win anything in the air. So, you know, we look like a team that can score from a number of different places and a number of different sources. And we're just at, you know, as we said, we're at the starting line now. Everyone starts on the same spot now. You know, everyone's the same now. Some teams have had 6 months preparation. Some teams have been together 4 years. Some teams have been together 8 years. But we're all on the same starting line now. We all go together.
Hi Eddie, Giles from the Daily Telegraph here. I just want to talk a little bit about Luke Pearce on Saturday and the importance of him. Obviously you know him, I presume, from your time with the RFU, and as a Premiership ref he probably favours quite a sort of quick, clean breakdown, and I just wondered, do you think that favours you and your sort of big pack, as you said, or does that favour the Georgians who potentially want to make things a bit stodgier?
Well, I think, you know, and World Rugby's here, aren't they? I'm sure they're here somewhere. You know, they're always in the shadows. You know, they've got listening devices everywhere. Everything you say gets recorded, and you don't want any black marks against you, mate. So to say that a referee favour one side over the other, I think would be probably a black mark. So I hope you got a better question, mate. Maybe you should sit next to Christy for a bit. Get a bit of intellectual property off him.
I didn't necessarily mean favour per se. I just wondered how you thought how his refereeing might, his style and an English style might affect the breakdown and what you're expecting there, not necessarily if it would favour you or Georgia.
Well, the interesting decision against France was the Vinavala when Sully got sin bin for legitimate action, but in the Premiership, when you make a line break and you interfere with that breakdown, you know, they deem it as an automatic sin bin. You know, there's no question. but I'm sure that World Rugby's had a chat to him about that, and that won't be the case on Saturday.
Will, you had the camp in Darwin back a month or so ago now. Given the conditions, firstly, how hard did you go up there, and how important is that basis going to be given the heat at the moment?
Tell the truth, or yeah, it's very similar actually. Very similar heat. We worked hard in Darwin, and then we came to France and worked hard again. But I think most teams at this stage of the preparation are fit. For us, it's just about getting rugby fit and being able to execute under pressure, under fatigue in these big games. So, example, this weekend is going to be a massive challenge for us, especially around our set piece. And that heat training in Darwin was nice.
The last couple of weeks, there's more, Tony.
Thanks, Eddie. You've talked about tough phone calls that you've had to make in, when you're picking the squad. Did you talk to Andrew Kellaway, and what kind of reaction did he have about being left out of this one?
I'm only here to talk about players that are playing, mate. Look, those conversations are always had with players who are left out. They're always difficult.
And sorry, you've got the youngest Australian lineup since 2003, the youngest at the World Cup. What are the advantages and maybe disadvantages of having such a young group?
Well, there's no advantage or disadvantage. It's our best team. It's 20 years since Australia's picked a young team like this, and it shows a changing of the guards. This is a new team that wants to take Australian rugby forward. We want to play a game that enthuses people in Australia to want to follow the Wallabies again. We've dropped down the rankings in followings in Australia in the national sports team. We want to be a team that everyone in Australia admires, respects. They want to watch play, and this group of young men have got the opportunity on Saturday to do that. For such a young team, the way they've conducted themselves during the preparation for the World Cup has been absolutely first class. And Will's done a great job as captain, stepped in post the Rugby Championship, and they're ready to go on Saturday. And we want to be that team that is admired, respected. And everyone in Australia sitting on the edge of on the seat, can't wait and see this team play.
Did you have one for that night? Was there one more for Freddie or Hook? So no.
Eddie, just for yourself, being back here, an Australian coach in the Wallabies, what does it mean to you to be here, on this stage 2 days out, just back with your home country, leading the Wallabies to another World Cup?
Yeah, well, it's not really about me. It's about the team, and about what we can do for Australia. I think, as we've spoken about, we went to Arnhem Land because we wanted to feel where the Australian society first started, where the Indigenous people started our great country, and then we went to Villers Bretna to feel what people have given up to protect Australia, and now we've got that opportunity to be ambassadors for Australia on a huge stage. I think the game sold out 80,000. Like, who would have thought 10 years ago Australia playing Georgia at Stade de France would sell out? Like, this is the magnitude of the World Cup, and I think World Rugby gets a lot of criticism, and maybe some of it's justified, but their ability to put on a massive tournament like this and run it, and obviously the French organising committee is absolutely first class. And coming into Paris, yesterday from our training camp, you could feel the buzz in Paris. So it's not about me, it's about what our players can do, and all I'm trying to do is give them the opportunity to fulfil their dreams. And we've got a chance on Saturday night to fulfil a dream.